Welcome to the Lean Podcast, Ladies Empowerment and Alignment Network. I'm your host, Mahogany, and this is Season 2. Let's start with a short prayer. God, I pray this season speaks to every heart listening. May these stories ignite purpose, restore hope, and remind each woman that she is never alone. Amen.
Amen.
Hello, y'all. What is up? Welcome back to the Ladies Empowerment and Alignment Network podcast. Today I have with me Miss Verna Stone. She is a mom. She is a real estate investor and owner of Black Girls Guide to Real Estate Investing. Help me welcome our guest, Verna Stone.
Yay! Hello.
What is up? Thank you so much for being here today, y'all. I met Verna at a real estate investing meetup about a year to this day.
A year ago, yes.
We're almost to that year. And when I met you, you were so insightful. You were just like a wealth of knowledge. I'm like, oh man, this lady's awesome.
Thank
and
you.
Then I found out you had kids, my kids' ages and younger. And I'm like, how does she do all that? How does she do that? How does she do it?
Yes.
So I'm just really happy to have you here and hear you talk about your story of your journey to real estate investing, just kind of what sparked that for you and your journey. So I'm gonna let you take it away by just introducing yourself a little bit more to us, who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
All right. Well, thank you for having me on. I greatly appreciate the invite. So, as she said, my name is Verna Stone. I am the founder of Black Girls Guide to Real Estate Investing. I've been investing in real estate for and I tell people this, I'm like, maybe I'm dating and aging myself for about 22 years now. So, been in the real estate game for a while. I'm a mother of two. My 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. When I had my son, I've been investing in real estate, but thought more of moving toward teaching other people because I came across so many people, especially women, Black women who want to get started in real estate investing, but really had no clue. Mm-hmm. So that was one thing that prompted me to start Black Girls Guide to Real Estate Investing with actually teaching them. And I know I get the question. Graduated from Howard University with my BS in chemical engineering. So I worked as a chemical engineer for about 18 years. And then that's when, with working as an engineer, I was investing at the same time. So I know back now, everybody's like, oh, that's a side hustle, this and that. Kind of, sort of, but that side hustle came basically is my main thing that I do right now. So started that right fresh out of college with investing in real estate. And just from there, just been building, adding to my portfolio and actually teaching, putting on seminars, conferences, webinars, everything you can think of that comes with teaching with real estate.
Wow, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Each one teach one. Some people, they get some information, y'all, and they want to hold on to it. They don't want no one to know what they did to get to the top or what they did to grow. So I really love that you decided to change it to teacher mode as well. And that education's wild. I know you have to work hard to get that.
Yeah, to the point now. With Black Girls Guide to Real Estate Investing, I have digital products and things like that, but just trying to understand and learn how to deliver these things with today's age. Back in the day, it's easy to bring everybody to a classroom, but everybody's so busy and live so far apart, but people still want the knowledge and stuff. So those are the key things I'm working on now, how to bring it to the people and bring it to people all over.
Awesome. So did you always know that you wanted to go to school and get an education, or what were your plans early on?
So honestly, with going to Howard, start back, I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana. So being from Louisiana, and the high school I went to was a magna high school. It was a really good high school. But for me, counselors were not drilling into students about going to college, showing us various careers and things that we should do. So my sister is 7 years older than me. She went to Howard as an electrical engineer. And that was her major, graduated from that. And then when I was coming to school, I had no clue. You always hear about the standard degree, career professionals, doctors, lawyers, police officers, teachers, and things of that nature. My sister sent me, and this is dating us, an actual newspaper article about the salaries of engineers. And the highest during that time was chemical engineer. I had no clue what a chemical engineer does, what they do on a daily basis, what type of work. I was just like, I like chemistry, I like physics and math, I'll do it. And I just jumped into it because for me it was the highest salary.
Oh
So
wow.
honestly, got into it. Worked at various plants. I did everything from paper mills to polymers, catalysts. I'm not going to get all the details, but some of the big name companies I've worked with. The last company I was with, I was actually a plant manager down here in Ennis, Texas.
Okay.
I was a plant manager at a
Shout out to
facility there.
Ennis.
Yeah. I was a plant manager there, and just it comes a time sometimes with women when we have kids, you have to shift your career because during that time, my job was very demanding. I worked a lot of hours, long hours, traveling on site a lot. And I know when I decided to have kids, I was going to have to make a shift. And so some people are like, well, why did you give up your career? It wasn't me giving up my career. I just kind of shifted to something that I enjoy more, and that's real estate investing.
Oh wow. So you're full time in real estate.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And when it came to your children, did you always know you were going to have children? Were you like planning it out in such a way to build yourself up before you brought them into the world, or what was your mindset behind that?
My mindset behind it was, for me, doing both engineering and real estate is like, I want to make enough money to be comfortable so I don't have to constantly be reporting to a 9 to 5 or having challenging bosses because you can know being a woman in a male dominated field, you can just imagine the challenges that were there. So it was more so building up as, I don't want to say escape plan, but just saying that, hey, in case of emergency, break glass, this is what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then it started becoming very lucrative, very fulfilling. And so when I did meet my husband and we were talking about having kids and stuff, I was like, I am going to shift. I knew that I was going to shift, but didn't know which direction. But knowing, I'm so thankful that God put it in my mind to plan. Sometimes you be planning and you really don't know that you're
Right.
planning,
Mm-hmm.
but you speak things into the world, like, I want to be a stay-at-home mom, I want to take care of my kids, I want to do this and that, things that you don't know that you're putting out there into the universe, and then when it hits you, you like, I talked about this a while ago, and look, I'm actually doing it.
Yes, yes, I love that so much. That's exactly how that goes. Like even when starting the podcast, I was speaking to you when you first got here, and I'm like,
Yes.
"Yeah, I want to do this and this," and you're
Mhm.
like, "Oh, you told me about that."
Told me about it a year
So I'm like,
ago.
"Okay,
Yes.
let's keep talking about it. Then it's gonna happen." I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that so much. So when it came to your interest in real estate, what really sparked that interest in real estate initially for you?
So what really sparked it, I tell everybody about my grandmother. I call her Big Mama. That's my mom's mom. My big mama passed away when I was in college, and it was really hurtful and hard being away. I was all the way in Washington D.C., and all of this was happening in Louisiana. Being a broke college student, it wasn't a way I could just come home and spend time and do those things. Plus, I'm in college and there are requirements there too. So
Mm-hmm.
couldn't really break away when I wanted to. But, we laid my big mama to rest. And I say probably within a year later, I got a call from my mom, and it was more so like, we lost Big Mama's house. And I was under the impression, like, did it catch on fire? Like, what do you mean we lost our house? And she was like, it's gone. It went to foreclosure and we don't own the house anymore. And so that was real devastating because I literally grew up right next door to my grandmother's house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you cross the lot and there's our house. So we always would go to Big Mama's house after church. She'll watch us when my parents, because they were young then, would go out. So we was like, my Big Mama was like our second home, and just the memories of being there with my cousins, just things just over the years that went on in that house and with us and everything. It
Mm-hmm.
was really hard to know that the house is not in the family anymore, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah.
So with that happening, then it comes the anger from the family. Everybody's pointing fingers. People are falling out, not speaking to each other for years.
Right.
You know, when it could have been prevented, if people would have taken the proper steps. But sometimes it's all about education. If you don't, you can't do what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So if no one's educated you or taught you about this or how to be financially responsible and stuff, part of the reason why my grandmother's house it was paid for was actually built by my grandfather. And so
sword.
yeah, it was built by my grandfather. My mom, she has it's a total of six of them, six kids. They all grew up in the house. So understanding the dynamics of it, all six people, all six kids grew up in there. And I tell everybody, it's like with my aunts and uncles and my mom and my grandparents, it was like 9 lives that came through that house. And so losing it and just knowing the history behind it with my grandfather building the house, and putting like doing everything. It used to be outdoor plumbing, an outhouse. He changed it and put indoor plumbing and stuff in there. And just knowing that we actually lost it, it was really, it hurt. It hurt a lot. And even when I was in college, I still didn't understand because honestly, I didn't know anything about real estate during that time when I was in college. And I remember I went to one of my professors and I was like, what does foreclosure mean? Because, we don't have chat and Google and all this stuff. So,
you look that up real quick.
Yeah, you can't. So I was like asking one of my professors and he broke it down. He was like, apparently it was either, you lost it for taxes or mortgage or things of that nature. And then I found out when my grandmother, she died of cancer. So when she was going through trying to get chemo and keep up with her medication and everything, she took a second mortgage out on her house because they owned it free and clear. But she had to take a second mortgage out to cover bills, utilities, medicine, and things of that nature. So that was the issue when she got really sick and put in the hospital, even though there were other kids, her kids staying with her, nobody just took on the responsibility to cover the bills. And so it just got, lost, nobody paid, and it went to foreclosure. So as we continue to go from that point, I was still trying to figure out like how to get my grandmother's house. And the town that I grew up in, I grew up in Shreveport. I say when you start knowing people, it's kind of small when you think about it. So when my parents worked, someone knew the person who purchased my grandmother's house. And they gave my dad the name and the phone number. They never called. So I came home from college that summer. I always used to come home in the summertime before I go on my internships. And I actually called the number and talked to the lady. First time I didn't get her, second time I didn't get her. She finally answered. And I explained who I was, this and that, and told her, just being honest. And this is the thing I said, it gets me. I didn't know what to say when I called. I was just like, hey, my name is Verna. It was Smith during that time, Verna Smith. You purchased my grandmother's house. It went through foreclosure. We want to know if we can purchase it back from you. We'll pay interest. We'll do this and that. And I was telling her, I'm like, I'm in school to be an engineer. I work in the summertime. If I need to send you payments now, I don't know how this stuff is going, but I'm just trying my best to negotiate. Yeah, to see
making a cold call off the rip.
I was about to say, that's what I was about to say. I was kind of cold calling. So I was just trying to figure out what options that we have. And she was like, she's not interested in selling. And so now hindsight, with me being an investor, I can understand that. You purchase a property and you want to make profit off of the money that you put into a property. So that was a dead end. And I always, whenever I came back home, I actually moved back to Shreveport to work at a engineering company there. And I used to just drive by my grandmother's house. Always, because my parents owned another house. Like I said, we grew up next door to it and they still owned a house over there. So I always just drive by my grandmother's house just to look at it and see. I see people hanging out, this and that. Then I just saw over the years, the decline in the house. It went from this really nice house from when my grandmother left it to like, it looked like a rent property for real, like very bad condition, run down. And I said, this time I'm actually purchasing properties myself because now I understand more about the real estate game. And I'm like, we're never going to have this happen to us. We're not going to have another family member or our household go into foreclosure for anything. So I'm purchasing properties, building up my portfolio and everything, still keeping my eye on my grandmother's property. Years later, I can say in 2018 or no, 2019, I looked it up again because I was driving by. Now I'm in Texas. So now I'm driving back whenever I go to Louisiana to look at my properties. I still drive through the neighborhood. And the house has been vacant. It's been vacant for a very long time. Even the neighbors, because they know that I'm interested, because they knew my grandmother, excuse me, they were like, hey, nobody's been at this property. So I look it up, shoot my shot. I put together a letter. You know how you send letters out as an investor?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sending letters out and getting properties this way. Let me send them a letter. Sent a letter. Nobody said anything. Weeks went by. I sent another letter. So I said, let me skip trace. I skipped trace, looked up the number and called. I asked for, when I looked up the LLC, I bet, you can go through all of that, found out who's the owner. I remember it's the same person that was on that card that my dad had before. I knew exactly the name and where they lived. It's funny how you remember these things,
Right.
and so many years have passed. So I actually called. Instead of talking to the lady that owned it, I talked to her daughter, and her daughter is part owner. Long story short, she was like, no, my mom's not interested in selling and this and that. And then she and I started talking, realized we knew some of the same people. And just over time, she and I became friends. We've been talking, communicating. We realized we knew some of the same people in the city and everything. So honestly, a friendship just started. Every time I come to Shreveport, she and I will meet for coffee or something, dinner, and we just catch up. And from there, I just didn't want to be like every time I talk to her, talk about my big mama's house. So she knew how I felt about it. And she even told me, she said that, hey, I will give it to you if I could, but my mom and I both own it together. And so she told me, she said, hey, just make my mom an offer. And I did. I gave her an offer. She said that she was just going to sit on it and think about it. COVID happened and everything. And so years passed. She didn't say yay or nay. She didn't say I reject the contract. She didn't say nothing. So I just assume I still need to give her some more time. So now let's fast forward. This is 2024, Mother's Day weekend, and we're going to Shreveport to spend time with my mom. And I always send like my girlfriends, female friends and stuff, like little Mother's Day text messages and stuff. And she was on my list. I sent it to her. I get a call from my mom and she was like, hey, somebody bought mama's house. Did you buy it? I was like, no. And she was like, my uncle is over there talking to the people who are cleaning out the house. His friends, they do clean outs and stuff, junk outs. And they were cleaning out the house. And they said, yeah, the owner told us to come over here and clean it out because someone from out of state purchased the house. And we were like, okay. My mom was like, is that you? And I told her, I said, no, I would have told you if I bought my grandmother's house. So I went in there and told my husband, like, somebody bought my grandmother's house. And he was like, okay. And I was like, it's not okay. I'm pissed off. I'm mad, walking around the house angry. I'm throwing my clothes in the suitcase and everything. Then I was like, my friend didn't tell me that they were going to sell the house. Right. So I was like, debating if I should text her or not. But I was like, look, I'm going to text her. I said, hey, did somebody buy my grandmother's house that your mom owned? And she was like, oh, friend, I'm so sorry. I didn't get a chance to tell you. She was like, yeah, somebody purchased it. They made her a really good offer. Mm-mm. I was devastated because you're so close to something, like you're so close, but you can't touch it and you kind of want
Just
it.
move the rug.
Yes.
Like, nope.
I'm like, I'm this close and now it's gone again. Like, who are these people who know what they're going to do with the property? They might tear it down. Right. Who knows? And I'm like, I call them too as another investor. They'll probably laugh in my face.
Right. I just bought this property and you already went there, done that.
Right. So I was just really, really devastated. And so we wind up going to Shreveport that weekend. And like I mentioned, I grew up in the neighborhood where my grandmother's house is at. We grew up right next door to my grandmother, my big mama's house. Our church is in the neighborhood and everything. So we're going to church for Mother's Day service. On our way going, I asked my husband to just drive by the house. I want to take a picture. He's like, for what? It's not your property. I'm like, dude, like,
Comical with it.
yes. And he's just like, you have all these other properties that you own, but I was like, it doesn't matter how many properties I own. I still wanted my big mama's house.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to church. Fast forward, I'm in church. My mom is like, she could tell I'm upset and you could tell I've been crying, but I'm like, I'm not going to ruin everybody's Mother's Day. So she's kind of like patting me on my leg, arm around me and everything. We leave there and then we go to go to eat. We go to have dinner. And so I give my mom's her gift in the restaurant and everything. Everybody's sitting down. I'm still sad, but I'm like, I'm not going to ruin this for everybody. I'm like, learn to get it together. So my husband takes out his tripod, puts it on a table. He's always videoing for like birthdays, Mother's Day, and stuff because I'm like, okay, I need to perk up because I know he's going to try to post this and send it out to my in-laws too. So he was like, how you doing and everything. He was talking. I'm like, I'm good. And he was like, are you really good? I'm like,
You egging it
in my
on?
mind,
You're
I'm
like,
like,
you know.
yes. Yes. So I had handed my mom her gift and everything, and he's interviewing my mom on it. It's like, how you doing, Miss Smith? Are you having a good Mother's Day? And she was like, yes. And so he was talking to me too. He passed me a box for me to open up. It was my gift. My mom is like, is it jewelry or earrings or something? I'm like, I don't know. My husband always have something up his sleeve. So I don't know what it is. So I'm still trying to smile because my kids, they didn't gave me their cards and all. And girl, I open up the box and it's a key ring. And sketched on the key ring, it says Big Mama's house with the address on it. So
Oh,
my husband actually bought
oh man.
my grandmother's house for me.
What a husband.
Every time I think about it, it's just about to make me cry. Like he bought the house
Wow.
for me. And it's so funny because I'm talking to my friend. And as I was in the house mad, they were texting each other. He was like, yeah, she's pissed off. She was like, can I just tell her? He was like, no, it's a surprise. Just wait. They were going back and forth. So all this time they've been working together.
Wow, wow, wow. So how did this kind of catapult you further into your real estate journey? Were you like more on fire? Like you finally got what you wanted? Did you sit down and stop? Or like how did you feel after that?
So after that, as I mentioned before, it was the catalyst to get me started when we lost my grandmother's house to push me more into real estate investing, understanding it and everything. So even after I got my grandmother's house, I mean, I still during that time, I think I bought a 6 unit apartment building. I worked with another family who was going through probate on their mother's house and they didn't want it. I wound up buying their property for them. So I'm still moving along, buying and doing everything with real estate investing. But it just felt good to say that I got my big mama's house. And then in addition to that, buying my mom's house a couple of years prior, I bought my
Mm.
dad's mom's house too.
Wow, that's so awesome. What are you doing with these
So
homes now?
I'm actually my dad's mom house. I had completely renovated. So when she passed, she didn't have a will,
Mm.
and so therefore, when you don't have a will, it goes through probate. All the kids, because she wasn't married, it goes to all 5 kids and everything. Those that are living, and those who are deceased is passed down to their kids. So you see how messy it can be when you
Yeah.
don't have a will or a transfer or deed. So family was dealing with the issues of a relative living in the property. A relative was not taking care of it. And so I knew I didn't want to see it go in foreclosure like my other grandmother's house did.
Hmm.
So that was one reason why I kind of stayed in the loop with this. I remember during this time I was pregnant with my daughter, my second child, and I was really trying to work with my family on a resolution because so many people when you're not educated when it comes to real estate and you don't have a clue, everybody have these big ideas of what they want to do, but then they don't really happen because they don't understand how to implement them.
Hmm.
So bottom line, it got to the point where it's time to pay taxes. People who said they were going to pay, they didn't pay, and all of this. And it's just to the point where my uncle and aunts and even my dad, they just made an executive decision that, hey, we need to sell the property because it's gonna be more of a hassle than anything. And I put my hat in the ring. I said, hey, can I purchase it? And I looked at fair market value of the property, where it's at, and everything, and made them an offer, a cash offer, and then told them I could close within such and such days, and this and that, and they actually went with it. So
Wow. Solving problems within the
yes,
family
yeah, because
by
I
being educated.
that because people will get into it, they will fight, they will argue when they don't understand the basic things that come. And everybody don't understand real estate because it's not their thing. But when you have a professional who does, you definitely need to listen. So that was a couple of years before I bought my dad's mom's house, my grandmother, and I renovated it, and it's been being rented ever since I renovated to some contractors in the city. They like the location. It's not far from the airport or the interstate. And I converted into an extra bedroom. So instead of three, it's four bedrooms now. So did all of that, updated electrical, plumbing, and stuff. So I'm getting top rent over there. And currently with my big mama house that we lost in foreclosure that my husband bought to me, planning on starting on the renovations and stuff going into winter, going into spring.
Oh,
So
wow. I love that so much. What words of
thank you.
encouragement or what guidance would you give a new real estate investor who's wanting to get started? And where should they start?
So, I can always plug in myself and say,
Plug it. Plug it.
definitely come to Black Girls Guide to Real Estate Investing. Even though it says Black Girls Guide, it's for everybody. It's not just for women, it's for men. It's not, and everybody was like, well, it says black. It's not just for black people, it's for anybody that wants to get into real estate investing. Black Girls Guide, that's me.
She's a black girl.
Yeah, that's me. Thank you. That's me. I'm the one that's doing it. So it's talking about me, but guiding people into real estate investing. So the thing that I would tell people, if you're going to get started, get educated, because you will make so many mistakes. And that's the thing I teach people, how not to make the mistakes and have the pitfalls that I did in the beginning to make yourself successful now, and to be able to scale up your portfolio faster than what I did, because now we know the tricks of the trade, the new things, technology, everything that's all with real estate investing. That's what I teach. So if anybody, even if it's not with me, educate yourself, get started. One thing that was like the catalyst to get me started with what I'm doing too with my grandmother's house, I've been running a series on my social media platform, Don't Sell Big Mama's House. And when I say don't sell Big Mama's house, it means understanding the ways that you can keep the house in the family or properly sell it and make a profit. From everything from wills, trusts, transfer deeds, things that need to be implemented and that we don't talk about. We don't talk about it as a community. We don't talk about this with Nana, Grandma, Big Daddy, Pawpaw, or even our own parents. So these are the conversations that we need to have. So then we won't have to go through probate or go through the arguments and the possibility of losing, your family's, a house that's been in your family for so long.
Yes.
We talk about building generational wealth, and that's where it starts.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you. Where can the
Yeah.
people find you for everything that you're doing?
So I am on social media platforms, all of them. Black Girls Guide to Real Estate Investing, and it's the number two. Black Girls Guide, the number two, REI. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everything you can
Working
think of.
hard.
Yes.
Woo!
And then you can follow me also, Verna Stone. I'm on Verna Smith Stone. I'm on social media platforms, and I cross reference real estate on my personal platform and on my brand. And then also you can go to my website, www.blackgirlsguide, the number two, rei.com.
Awesome, Verna. Well, I really appreciate you being here with me, rolling with the punches and
Yes.
everything. You're the best.
Thank you so much. I love this. Oh, we gotta look this way. We hug. Yes.
Yes, I appreciate
I
you.
love this so much, and I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
What you're doing, the messages and getting out to people and talking. I really love your podcast. Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. Make sure y'all catch this. Until next time.